The 2026 NFL regular season is almost here, and for some players and coaches, the pressure could not be higher. Today, we're breaking down who has the most to prove, whose job could be on the line, and who absolutely has to deliver this season. Let's get into it. Welcome into Just an Average Football Podcast, where every week is football week. Not a solo podcast this evening. I'm just alone for the first part of it. So, half solo. Casey should be here after his fantasy football draft. Said it's taking a little longer than expected. So I said, you know what? I can knock out the 20-no challenge. Then he can join for segment 2, which we'll be talking about the players and coaches under the most pressure going into the 2026 NFL season. So, until then, let's go ahead and hop into our 20-no challenge. I think this is week 8, maybe week 7, week 8 of doing this this 20-no challenge. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's actually possible to go 20-0 because I haven't done it yet. So something's clearly going wrong here. I think the best we've done is 19-1, maybe 18-2. So fingers crossed that this is going to be different tonight. Let's go ahead and hop in here. Let's try to get a win here. Starting right off the bat, we're getting air. Oh my God. Well, this isn't going to help. Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray. Okay. 15 touchdowns for James Conner on only 700. Man, red zone. Going crazy. Okay. Well, unless they have a good time. And they do. I forgot about Trey McBride. Hello. Welcome to the team. Okay. Starting off good. Thought we were starting off bad here. Starting off good. Houston, 2011, 2015. Wow. I mean, we are just. Matt Schaub had a okay season there. Let's see. Arian Foster. Imagine it tells me Arian Foster's a weak link here with 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. Probably the guy I'm going to go with, but Andre Johnson down here as well. 4 touchdowns. Rough. DeAndre. Oh my gosh. I mean, I could go any direction here I wanted. It's either D-Hop or Foster. This is tough. 11 touchdowns. I think I'm going to have to go Arian Foster here. I just love Arian Foster. Put him at running back. No way it says he's a weak link. New Orleans. Oh my God. Give me Drew Brees. We're going crazy. We're going crazy. This might be the one. Denver, 19. No way. Give me, where are you? Terrell. Okay, what? Oh, yeah, 99. Dang it. The 1 year. Okay, well, Clinton Portis is still really good. Golly, 2 years prior, Terrell Davis would have been great to have. Rod Smith, 1,600 yards. Ed McCaffrey, 1,300. That's actually kind of crazy. We've already got a really good tight end. I feel like we're going to have to go with Clinton Portis here. Really good to have in that flex spot. LA Rams, 2011, 2015. Okay. LA Rams. This would be St. Louis still, right? But right? Okay. Not looking awesome. We need a flex. Imagine it tells me Todd Gurley is not a good flex to have here. I mean, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, 188, 0 receiving. Do we re-roll this? Steven Jackson, I see you. 5 touchdowns really isn't doing a whole lot for me here. Nothing here is doing great. We got to re-roll. We've got 2 positions left. I think we're going to use it here. We might as well. Atlanta, 99 to 2005. Not going to be much better. Dang it. Mathis. For flex, I feel like we've got to go. I mean, 14. I mean, I hate that. Not a lot of touchdowns. 2005, 311. Warwick Dunn. This will be the weak link. Yeah, 1,400 yards, 3 touchdowns, weak link. Okay, what's a good flex to have? Cleveland. For a wide receiver, Josh Gordon. Yep, there he is. Gonna throw you at the wide. I mean, Josh Gordon, the biggest, maybe the biggest what if in all of the NFL. If he could have just stayed off the devil's lettuce, probably could have done really well. He did really well on the devil's lettuce. They just Told him he couldn't do it anymore. Okay. Legends 80 to 85. I know exactly who I'm going to go for here. That's 17 and a half. Not the guy I was thinking of. Okay, never mind. I think I'm a few years off here. Gary Johnson, 1460 tackles. 17 and a half sacks. I feel like you got to go with that. We're going to put him at... He's a defensive tackle. We'll throw him a defensive tackle. That's a lot of... Green Bay, 2011, 2015. Raji. I love Raji. 10 and a half sacks. Julius Peppers. Imagine saying he's the weak link. But he'd be a great flex. Julius Peppers, 10 and a half sacks. 9 tackles for loss. But 13 sacks, 15 tackles, 24, 43 tackles. Clay Matthews at a flex. Clay Matthews at a flex. Yeah, let's do it. Not feeling as confident. 1974 to 1984. Okay, we're going to pray there's a good linebacker here. 16 sacks at an... I feel like that's who we've got to go with here. 16 sacks. Love that. 3 forced fumbles. We're feeling pretty good. Tampa Bay 2006 to 2010. 106 tackles. Anybody as far as Aqib Talib? No way. I love Aqib Talib. I just draft him just because. I mean, 5 interceptions. I love that. I love Aqib Talib. We got to throw him there at corner. Detroit 2011-2025. Brian Branch, where are you at? Or no, Kirby Joseph had a really good... Yeah, 9 interception season, Kirby Joseph. This final spin, I have a reroll left. This final spin could be the one. I mean, this could be it. This could be the 20-0. This could be every... And it's linebacker Nick Bolton, possibly. 100 tackles. 171, 2 sacks, 8 tackles. This is it. Do I start a slow clap now? Because this has got to be 20-0. This is going to be it. I'm going to stand up and cheer if this is. Are we kidding? Who? Aqib Talib, 5 picks and 14 passes defended, is a quality starter who simply lacks the all-pro ceiling loaded item. Did I jump the gun on Aqib Talib there? Unreal. It's not possible. This is the best team I have assembled doing this 20-0 challenge. Held me back. There's no way. I was about to jump for joy here. I got my headphones caught up and everything. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, 20-0 challenge in the books. Another failure. So, that's great. Guess we'll just... move on to the next segment while I wait for Casey here. I guess we just reminisce about this 18-2 season we had. So, let's go ahead and wait for Casey. Gotta take a while, go get a drink of water, get that sour taste in my mouth of that. But all right, Casey should be here in any second. We'll go ahead and hop into our second segment once he gets here. All right, Casey is now with us here. We are going to go ahead and hop into segment 2. Casey, how did the fantasy draft go?
I did what I could.
I did what I could. I know we talked a little bit before.
It was honestly a good warm up for this next weekend.
For a weekend, yeah. And we still have to figure out a time. I keep asking people, like, 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Like, let me know. So far, no one's said anything. So hopefully we'll get it figured out. But
I'm fine with pretty much whatever. So
yeah, it'd be a good time. But so like I said, 20-0 challenge. I went 18-2. Apparently, Aqib Talib held me back. Whatever, ridiculous. But anyway, so segment 2 here, talking about both players and coaches that are under the most pressure going into the 2026 NFL season. We're going to talk about these players and coaches, what they need to do, and the biggest questions surrounding them, obviously, going into the season and then after this season. So first player here I want to talk about is Bryce Young. We have a list of, I think, four players and 4 coaches here. The first one is Bryce Young. What's at stake for him? I mean, obviously right now is probably his franchise status as the starting quarterback for the Panthers. I mean, what are we thinking? What do you think as far as, I mean, he is under a little bit of pressure here going into this season. They just made the playoffs last year. Do you think if they don't make the playoffs this year, or at least finish top two in that division, there could be question marks surrounding him?
I think that, so when it comes to the quarterback situation, obviously they play a big part in them making the playoffs, but it's everything else. I think they have the defense to be good. I think that it is going to be on him to get them to the playoffs. I think that if he has a good year, a year similar to what he had last year, regardless of them being super successful, I think that he's going to be okay. As long as he doesn't regress, in my opinion, I think that he's going to be fine. As long as quarterbacks don't ever really regress after having a decent year, I think that he'll be okay. I really don't think they'll ever give him a big NFL contract.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking.
I just don't think he'll ever get a big contract. I think he'll get an average contract, which might upset him a little bit, but I just don't think that he'll ever be. He's definitely not going to get a massive contract.
And we talked about in our rankings a few weeks back, we talked about him trending in the right direction. Like every single year, he's progressively gotten better little by little. I think he needs to take another significant step, though, in his development. And not only make the playoffs, but win Carolina a playoff game, especially when you're in a division to where
it's so bad.
9 wins could get you in the playoffs like it did last year. You know, I got a lot of flack last week for my rankings. I had the Panthers going 6-11 and winning the division again at 6-11. Can you imagine? I don't think that's going to happen, but that division's not great. I mean, and anybody could win that division. It's not just like, oh, you know, this is the favorite. I think any team could win that division.
I think the Saints have the best chance of winning that division this year, in my opinion.
Tyler Shuck, you know, if this is, I mean, I realize he's an older quarterback, older quarterback, however you want to say that, but yeah, I think he was doing really good at the end of last season. So I'm really intrigued to see how he does as the year progresses this year. But at the end of the 2026 season, are the Panthers ready to give Bryce Young a massive extension? And you kind of already answered that question. Yeah, that's a no. A lot of these questions we'll be answering as we go through these will be for the listeners, so let us know what you think. Does Bryce Young get a big contract? It's a great question, and it leads great into this next one here with his draft mate, C.J. Stroud, Texans quarterback. What's at stake? Can he return to his rookie form?
He's going to have to.
That just, they did a lot for the offensive line. You've still got some wide receivers getting hurt there. My goodness, I think it was Jaden Higgins tore his ACL out for the season, so that sucks. I think they got 2 receivers from Iowa State last year. One of them getting hurt. Tank Dell's always getting hurt. Nico Collins, that wide receiver room just seems like it always gets hurt. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't see Stroud losing his starting job, but I think he's kind of in the same situation as Bryce Young to where, like, hey, you make the playoffs. Your defense kind of helped you out a lot last year. Now you got to take that next step and help them out this year by not only making the playoffs, but winning a playoff game.
The only difference between Bryce Young's position and C.J. Stroud's position is that Davis Mills really did not play very bad when C.J. Stroud was out. He's actually
he's
carrying them to some wins, and he was playing really well, and he's been a starter before. And I mean, I think that they're thinking it's kind of like the San Francisco position where Brock Purdy gets hurt. You got Mac Jones
stepping in.
He went out and balled out, and like I can't believe he never got offered a trade for
offer or something like that.
To especially to Minnesota or.
Well, and we
we
did talk about that though, where Brock Purdy is the ultimate game manager. All you have to do is run Shanahan's system, and really, you get a quarterback in there that can handle that. And I think Purdy and Mac Jones both do very well. He might go to another system. You're like, yeah, it doesn't really fit the system as well. But I think the biggest thing for what C.J. Stroud needs to do is return to form that he was his rookie year when he won, offensive rookie of the year, and had really good stats. And ever since then, it's kind of been regressing a little bit. So he's got to kind of revert back to that and play better in January. But question though for the listeners, if Stroud has another average year, do we have to admit he was an overrated draft pick? I don't know. Big question mark. Obviously, taken second overall right after Bryce Young. I mean, going into that year, everybody thought Bryce Young was number one and CJ Stroud was number two. Stroud comes out, plays better the first year. Now things are starting to kind of flip a
Level
little
out, yeah.
bit. Yeah. So it's a question. We'll figure out the answer to it probably by the end of the year. Two more players here, both quarterbacks. Quarterback heavy here. Seems like quarterbacks are always the ones people tend to talk about. The next one, pressures on Kyler Murray this year. He gets the starting job over 9. If he doesn't play well, his NFL career, starting career, he might revert to backup for teams because, if he doesn't come out and ball out and have a good season, it might be like another Russell Wilson situation. Goes to Denver, doesn't play really well, gets a couple years, kind of a journeyman after that, and now he's no longer playing. So, I don't know. I really don't know. What's your thoughts on Kyler Murray going into this season?
I think he's got the weapons.
He does, yeah, for sure.
Got the weapons, got the better offensive line. See how cold weather affects him. He's from Minnesota. He grew up being a Minnesota Vikings fan, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't think that he can't be any worse than JJ. So
No, he really can't. I mean, like I said, he needs to reestablish himself as a high caliber NFL starter and prove that he is a franchise quarterback because, right now, I mean, I realized he was hurt last year, but once he got better, they didn't play him over Jacoby Brissett. They let Jacoby Brissett kind of roll with that. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where he goes and, does he start the whole entire season? I'm really interested, and this is why I'm not sold on the Vikings yet, because I'm really interested to see kind of how everything unravels for them. I've got a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Vikings are going to win the division." You would be lucky if they were 500 this year, and that's just my personal opinion on those. But question for the listeners though: if Kyler Murray can't succeed with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, is his career as a franchise quarterback over? Possible, very possible, because like I said, you're getting one of, if not the best wide receivers in the NFL, and probably one of the better quarterback whisperers as far as like, coaches to work with in O'Connell. And if you cannot win with that, good luck, I guess, going into your future seasons. But last quarterback here, and this might be maybe the hottest take here, is Daniel Jones, quarterback for the Colts. Well, was 2025 a fluke? They started really hot, 7-1. He looked Indiana Jones, slinging the ball around, couldn't miss, gets hurt. Obviously the season didn't end how they wanted it to. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and then ended up not making the playoffs at all. So, playing literally the best football of his career for the Colts before he went down. What do we see as far as Colts quarterback play? Can he repeat what he did last year, or is this was it a fluke?
I think if the injury doesn't affect him that much and the offensive line protects him, I think that I mean, I've never been super high on Daniel Jones, but
yeah,
the dude can throw the football, and he makes okay decisions, but he looked phenomenal those eight games. So I don't know. It's going to be one of those. This is going to be a fun year to just see, of what ifs and what's going to happen. So I mean, like, you have quarterbacks coming back the route, like Patrick Mahomes. How's he going to be? Daniel Jones. How's he going to be? Kyler Murray. How is he going to be? There's a lot of quarterbacks where you're like, are they going to be all right? Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? You got running backs. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? Wide receivers and new spots.
Yeah. I'll be intrigued talking about wide receivers. Michael Pittman Jr., a top target there. I mean, they kept Alec Pierce, but a top target there for Daniel Jones, now gone. Does he? I mean, these quarterbacks, especially the ones that had really good years or started really hot last year, like, do they come back and repeat this? And that's the biggest question for Daniel Jones. Are we finally seeing the real Daniel Jones, or was 2025 just the beginning of a hot streak? Like, is he going to come back and just
Is he
pick
gonna
up where
Sam
he
Darnold
left
it?
off? Like, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we will see. But let's go ahead and move on to coaches here under the most pressure. And I think probably the biggest one is Aaron Glenn for the Jets. Went 3-14 in year one. The Jets really just haven't been a great franchise anyway. I don't know if you could put any coach in there, and I think you're probably setting him up for failure. But I mean, he's got to have some kind of improvement going into this year. You've got a lot of draft picks. You spend a lot on players, bringing them in. You realize you got Geno throwing the ball back there. That's not great. But how many wins do you think Aaron Glenn needs to get this year to keep his job?
I mean, in my opinion, they drafted good.
They did draft really good. They did.
Would they get 3 wins last year?
Yes.
Oh man, I would say
They did an overhaul. Like the team has been overhauled. They got rid of like 2 of their best players, but they brought in a lot. Free agency. They spent a lot of money. The draft, they drafted a lot of really talented players. Kenyon Sadiq being one of them. So I'd say
go ahead.
I'm going to say you have to get at least 7 wins. I think you get 7 wins, and you're probably blowing you get 4 wins, you're probably blowing expectations out of the water. Right now they're probably looking at the first overall pick in next year's draft. I think it's them and, no offense, your Dolphins might be the 2 teams there that could have the first overall pick.
Here's what I think. I think that if the Jets get last in their division, he's gone. I think that if the Jets win 5 to 7 games, I think it's okay because they're progressing. They're not going to be last in the division probably.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll give them one more year. We'll see. Because you're not going to probably light switch Jets, go from 3 wins to freaking 10 wins.
No, yeah. And you're playing Josh Allen twice, and you're playing the runner-up there in the Super Bowl twice. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no offense to Jets or Dolphins fans. I just don't see you guys stealing a game. I mean, there's 4 losses, right there for you, for both, honestly. And I mean, obviously the Dolphins and the Jets play each other twice as well. So either they're going to split or one's going to lose twice. So, I haven't really looked at your schedule or the Jets' schedule a lot, but Aaron Glenn, like I said, I think if he gets 7 wins and kind of shows like he's progressing and moving in the right direction, I think he keeps his job. If not, we might be having this conversation again about Jets looking for another head coach, which it's just a revolving door at this point. We just talked about Daniel Jones, so let's go ahead and talk about his head coach. Obviously, his job could be at stake if things don't kind of look up compared to what they did last year. I mean, like I said, starting 7-1, the hottest team in the NFL, to not making the playoffs at all is rough.
Yeah.
This is his 4th year, and he has 0 playoff appearances. I realize quarterback gets hurt. He's got to make the playoffs. I mean, I think he has to make the playoffs to kind of get the pressure off of him.
They haven't really had a quarterback for the last 4 years.
What was it? Daniel Jones. Before that, it was Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan.
Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan both came in.
Yeah. I mean, you had Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. Who was before that? It was Anthony Richardson played a few games there.
Yeah.
Not great.
Wasn't Jacoby Brissett over there?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, exactly.
They're another team that's had so many different quarterbacks, between them and the Browns. I mean, we could have talked about Deshaun Watson too here, but we did not. But I think the biggest question is if the Colts do not make the playoffs this year, he's entering year 4. If he doesn't make the playoffs this year, is he still the head coach by the end of the season?
Depends. Who's in that division?
You got them,
Jaguars.
Jaguars, Titans, and Texans. It's a tough division, especially the Jags and the Titans looking a little bit better this year.
I think if they compete for the division, and there is a chance that if they drop off significantly again and just lose a whole bunch of games, then yeah, he's probably gone.
I think if they get him too, he's gone. I think if they get either, yeah.
I think that they got to. I think that they got to outlast. They got to either tie records with the Texans or Jacksonville, or beat one of the two.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued here. AS, it is, dude. They started 7-1 and finished 8-9.
Yeah.
So they were the top team in that division. Jaguars 13-4, Houston Texans 12-5, Indianapolis Colts 8-9, Titans 3-14.
And it just
if they finish bottom two again,
it really blows my mind how the Texans went 12-5. But
defense wins championships unless your offensive line is terrible. I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got, like I said, we did the 4 quarterbacks. We've got 4 coaches. We have 2 more coaches to talk about here. One being Todd Bowles of the Buccaneers. So the last or no, not in the same division. The last 2 coaches here though, very interesting to kind of see your thoughts on these 2. So Todd Bowles, obviously, we talked about the division already, about how anybody can win that division, and I don't know what he necessarily needs to do.
Win the division,
And it's not that hard. Like I'm looking here at
that's literally all you have to do. Win the division.
Yeah,
get to the playoffs. You don't even have to win a
and
playoff game. You just got to get to the playoffs.
I'm looking at like their stats and stuff like that, and looking through how they started and how they finished. They started 2025 6-2, and then went 2-7. I didn't even realize that. That's why I'm kind of baffled as I'm reading this here.
In my opinion, Baker Mayfield is playing for a big contract somewhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Baker Mayfield's playing for a big contract
out this year
without Mike Evans, but he's got Emeka Egbuka.
And he's got Chris Godwin still.
Yeah, older Chris Godwin. He saw Chris Godwin.
You got Bucky.
Their defense is the biggest question mark. You know, I realize they go out and they get
Ruben
Bain, yes, but defense finished 19th in yards allowed and 20th in points allowed last year.
And their defense
like
used to be solid.
Yeah, NFC. Oh yeah, when Brady was there, it was one of the better defenses in the NFL, led by Shaq Barrett, former Bronco. Let him go and kept Bradley Chubb. That was a mistake. But NFC South remains very winnable. Like I said, you could win that division with 8 wins. So very winnable. I still cannot believe they went 2-7 in their last 9 games. That is crazy to me. They could have won 3 games and made the playoffs.
Yeah,
wow.
they had the injury bug hit them like crazy though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think that's a conversation with every single one of these coaches we're talking about, is like, what do they need to do to retain their jobs? Just win. Just win your very winnable division, and make the playoffs. If the Buccaneers miss the playoffs again,
he's gone.
Do you think Todd Bowles is gone? Does he survive?
I think Todd Bowles is gone, and there's potential that Baker Mayfield's gone.
I think I agree with you, and I think that team might implode a little bit because you've already lost Mike Evans. Well, he's kind of your face of the franchise guy.
Where Baker Mayfield goes, I don't know. But.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a very good question as well. So it'll be really interesting to see. And the last one here we've got is Dan Quinn of the Commanders. Now, the reason I've got Dan Quinn here, they went from 12-5 in NFC Championship in the NFC Championship game to 5-12 in 2025. Now, I realize Jaden Daniels is hurt.
They had more than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, but
they brought Deebo Samuel over thinking that was going to help. He got hurt.
Yeah,
Terry got hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
who was their running back that got hurt? Wasn't that Robinson? Is it Robinson?
Yes. Yes,
Brian Robinson?
I do believe
Is
so.
it Brian Robinson?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he got hurt. Their defense has never been fully amazing. So,
Well, here's the thing, and this is why I think that Dan Quinn
because he's a defensive coach.
he's a defensive-minded coach, and they had statistically one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year. Now they almost beat us. We gave up a lot of points. They gave up a lot of points in that game. What's his face? Oregon quarterback. Why can't I think of his name right now? Titans. I'm blanking on his name. We'll think of it. Wow,
Marcus Mariota.
There you go. Thank you. I was about to look it up. Yeah, Mariota came in and didn't play terribly, but how does Dan Quinn respond to all this? I mean, he replaced both of his coordinators, invested heavily in the defense going into this season. So we'll see if there's a turnaround. I think Jaden Daniels plays a role as well. Does he Does Jaden Daniels stay healthy? If he does stay healthy, do we see the Commanders return to that, 12-5 2024 look that they had? We will see. So I think what he needs to do is obviously get Washington back around to playoff contention and dramatically improve the defense, which I think he spent a lot of time in the offseason doing. And then the question is, was Washington's 2024 NFC Championship run the start of something or just one magical season? What do you think? I don't think it was a magical season. I think Jaden Daniels is special. He's got Lamar-like traits where he can, make anything happen with his legs if he needs to.
So here's my thing. That's a tough division.
And that is a tough division. We talked about, the Cowboys are going to be better. The Giants are going to be better.
I think as long as they sustain success and get I think they can get 10 wins. That's not far-fetched. I think they get 10 wins and compete for the division. They miss the playoffs, okay, because the Cowboys are going to be better.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are the Eagles.
Eagles got a new offensive coordinator, somebody coming in that's actually probably going to bring some life back to that offense.
If
Cowboys loaded up on defense. Giants now have a Harbaugh as head coach.
So it's tough, but I think that if they get around 9-10 wins and hover over the 500 mark, I think he's all right.
So one more question for you then about Dan Quinn. If they finish last in the division, is Dan Quinn gone? Just great. I mean, I guess it's anybody. Yeah, if people that are watching this are probably going to say, you finish last in the division. There's always questions. Yeah, you're probably on the hot seat if you're finishing last.
It depends on how bad they get beat out in the division.
I mean, if they have 6 wins, I think he's gone.
Yeah,
6 wins that's rough. That's pretty brutal.
If you have 2 seasons where you go like that bad, and you have like a what they say is an elite quarterback, like a franchise quarterback, and and they made the division, they made the title game the year 2 years prior. It's either on you or. I mean, at some point, the fingers got to come back to you. So,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, those were our 4 players, our 4 coaches. Those of you guys that are watching, those of you guys that are listening, let us know if you think of any other players or coaches you think that are kind of on the hot seat a little bit or have a lot to prove going into this 2026 NFL season. Let us know in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.